Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? My name is Tuck and welcome to the channel, and let's talk some sports. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't seen the news, Andrew Luck has retired at age 29. Now, I made a video about that. I don't know if it's going to be before or after this one, or maybe at the same time. But go ahead and check it out wherever it'll be on my channel. Before I get into any of the news, make sure you guys like the video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so y'all can be updated whenever I upload, alright? But anyways, Andrew Luck could have potentially owed the Colts $13 million in that prorated signing bonus that the Colts gave him when he signed that 5-year deal, along with a $12 million roster bonus that he was paid in March. But Jim Irsay and the Colts are waiving that right and are allowing Andrew Luck to keep that money, which is a very tasteful move by them, given everything that he's given to that team, pretty much his body, his soul, dragging that team to the playoffs every year that he's played, So good move, Jim Irsay. Way to show love to Andrew Luck after all he's given you. Now, Jim Irsay also mentioned that Luck may be missing out on potentially just under $500 million in potential NFL wages by retiring now. That's a lot of money. But it just goes to show you that, it wasn't about the money for Andrew Luck. It never was. It was about the love of the game and just wanting to be out there and being able to play, and he couldn't, and he felt like he couldn't. So he made the decision that he made, and we all have to respect it. Now, in other news, we all know Antonio Brown has filed a second helmet grievance against the NFL, and it looks like it came back negative once again. They have denied him, but it seems that they are working on some sort of deal or endorsement to get him a approved helmet. There's not a lot of details on that right now, but we'll see in the coming days what exactly that means. So it looks like he may get something. He may be able to compromise somewhere, somehow with this helmet situation. But as for his, the helmet that he's been using for the past 10 years, he's still not going to be able to wear that. And it kind of seems like he's kind of coming to that realization with this supposed deal that nobody really knows about right now. Now, the second grievance he filed was asking for a 1-year grace period before he had to switch helmets, which I don't kind of understand why he would ask for that, given that, if I'm not mistaken, the NFL kind of notified all the players before last year's season started that this was going to be the last year that they can use those helmets, and they were going to be null and void after that year. So that pretty much was their 1-year grace period. I don't understand why he needs another one, but I digress. I'm just chalking it up to AB is going to be AB, and hopefully we can just move on with this whole drama, and he can find something that he can feel comfortable with. Now on to the next topic, Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller went down with an apparent leg injury in last Saturday night's game against the Dallas Cowboys in the preseason, and the MRI came back to show that he has a torn ACL and he is now done for the season. Now, this is a big blow for the Texans, seeing as they just signed Duke Johnson Jr. to be that kind of spellback to take the load off of Lamar Miller and switch it up a little bit. Now Lamar Miller goes down, and now Duke Johnson has to step into that role. So it's kind of the same. They're kind of in the same situation as if, before when they didn't have Duke Johnson. They just had Lamar Miller, and they didn't really have, a competent second running back. So we'll see if Deonta Foreman and Buddy Howell, if one of those guys can, take the load off of Duke Johnson. But it's gonna be a rough season for that backfield in Houston, and maybe even for the Texans offense in general. Because I'm looking at their depth chart and I see a lot of Qs in that wide receiver position, on the offensive line. Will Fuller, we all know he deals with a lot of injuries. Kiki Coty, whatever his name is, he's questionable. And this is another one of those teams that's going to need some production from their offensive line to keep Deshaun Watson off the ground, because we just saw what happened with Andrew Luck. They didn't want to protect him. They didn't want to put them linemen around him that can keep him protected. And look at him, he's 29 years old and he's already retiring. He's been taking hits like he's a running back. So if they don't want Deshaun Watson in that same situation, they should consider, signing some offensive linemen, drafting them, whatever they need to do to protect this guy, because Deshaun Watson can get loose and he's liable to take some hits out there. But that's all the news I got for you this video. Make sure y'all comment down below y'all thoughts and opinions. Let me know if I missed any news. Make sure y'all Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. But with that being said, my name is Tuck, and I'm out of here. Deuces.